Hello. The video today I'm going to be showing you is the process for changing the CVT fluid on a Subaru Outback 2012. So first off, just want to show you some things that you're going to require. You have your safety stands. Always make sure the car is safely jacked up. I'm going to be doing a drain and fill of 6 quarts of the CVT transmission fluid, and the product I'm going to be using is the Subaru CVT fluid, CVT2 fluid. You're going to need an 8mm as well as a 10mm hex socket, ratchet of your choice, and also one of these pumps. You're going to require one of these hand pumps in order to be able to pump the fluid into the drain and fill plug. First, a picture of the 2012. I currently have 165,000 miles on the vehicle. Many say that this is a lifetime fluid. However, I'm a bit more comfortable changing the fluid with this type of miles on the vehicle. So the Subaru is my second favorite all-wheel drive vehicle in the house. And this is my first favorite all-wheel drive vehicle in the house. So looking from underneath the car, from the area right about slightly behind the front wheels, in the center of the vehicle, you're going to see this large black flat pan. On that pan, you're going to have the drain plug, which is where I'm pointing right now. And on the opposite side, which is the side of the transmission up on the driver's side of the vehicle, you'll see it in fairly good proximity to the pan. It's a 10mm hex socket. Over in this area, you can't really see it from this angle. That will be the fill hole. So the plan today is that we're going to do a cold drain and a cold fill. What that means is without the car warmed up and the car on level ground, I'm going to drain to the CVT fluid from the drain plug, and I'm going to then take the contents out. I'm going to pour it into a measuring container to measure how much I've taken out. With that in mind, I will replace the drain plug and I will pump new fluid into the fill plug. The idea is to get as much new fluid as possible without it spilling out, and hopefully the amount of new fluid will equal the amount of fluid that I've removed. So that gives me a ballpark. Again, I'm making the assumption that the fluid I've removed or that the fill was the proper level in the first place. The procedure is actually to warm up the car so that you're able to get additional fluid in. If for some reason I drain out 5.5 quarts and I'm unable to replace the full 5.5 quarts, at that point the plan would be to get the car up to operating temperature, cycle it through the gears, park, neutral, reverse, drive, back up to park, cycle it a few times, leave the car running, open the fill plug, and that should allow me to put in the remainder of the fluid so that I can get all the fluid I need into the vehicle. And then the fill level, similar to what you typically see with a differential, it would spill out. When it stops spilling out, then you know that the transmission is filled to the appropriate level. Alright, so I've already cracked loose the plug and I'm about to release the drain plug. And that's the color of the fluid. Looks pretty dark compared to the new fluid that I'm seeing in the bottles. So the idea here is that we're probably going to get about 5.5, 6 quarts or so out. And then I will replace this. If less comes out, that's fine. I'll just replace with the appropriate amount. Again, I'm at room temperature, not having heated up the car. So here we have the oil that has been removed, and let's get a close-up look at this oil. So what I have here was just a clear container. This was a clean container that I put inside the larger container. The larger container I used for oil, so that's somewhat dirty, so I could get an idea of what the oil really looks like. Let's have a look. We'll pour this out from the side and get a look at the color. So that's about the color. It's got a slight greenish tint to it. Somewhat dark. Let's do the old paper towel test to see what this fluid looks like. So that's the color and tone of the fluid. Not completely black, fairly dark. When I did look at the drain plugs, there was no metallic residue on the drain plug, so overall the fluid doesn't look like it's too terribly bad, but when compared to the new fluid, we'll have a look. So what I've done is I've taken the container and I have poured it into an old oil jug that had some markings on the side for 1 quart, 2 quart, 3 quart, 4 quarts, and 5 quarts. And thus far, I've filled it up to the 5 quart line, and then on a separate container, I've about another half a quart. So the quantity removed is as expected from prior research. I've taken out 5.5 quarts out of fluid, and I intend to replace the same. The question that many of you may have is, that's not all the transmission fluid. So the total transmission fluid capacity is somewhere about 13 quarts. So the plan right now is to replace 5.5, 6 quarts today. I'll probably drive around for a few months and then do it one more time so I get another dilution of the fluid, at which point I'll probably have replaced 75% of the CVT fluid, and I'll be satisfied with that. So for now, that's the end of the project. The intention, once again, once I've completed a drain, I've taken out the 5.5 quarts, I'll just use the hand pump over here with the new fluid, and put this cap onto the new fluid, and what I will do is I will pump the new fluid into the fill plug. Okay, so the fill plug, just so you know the difference between the two plugs, this is the fill plug with a 8mm hex socket. It fits in as such. Okay, and this is the drain plug that was at the bottom of the big square black pan, and that is a 10mm socket. Okay, these are 3/8" sockets that are hex heads. Okay, once again, 10mm and an 8mm. If you'd like to know the specific torque settings, you can look those up online. Good luck with the project, folks. Bye-bye. So here's a quick view of what the new fluid will look like in terms of what to expect from the color. So here's a good view right from the pump and the clear tubing, but it's a very, very light green color. You should be able to see through it fairly easily, unlike the fluid that came out. Once again, this is the CVT-F2 fluid, and it says that it is approved for use in all 4-cylinder non-turbo lineartronic transmissions. It also says improved noise reduction. That's on the back side of the label. Just a word of warning here, you will get a real workout trying to pump 4 quarts of, or 4 to 5 quarts of fluid with this pump from sitting underneath the car. It gives you quite a workout. You don't have a lot of leverage to work and work that pump. Depending, if you have a lift, you're going to have plenty of leverage. It'll be easy. Without one working on the ground, you're going to get quite a workout. But hopefully this will be well worth it.